Welcome back to the Federation versus the Zeon. This time we're Zeon. I'm Drunken Dan.
Oh. Man, those goddamn Feddies.
Fuck
hate
them.
Those, I hate those Earthnoids.
Earthnoids, Earthkins.
What has the Earthsphere ever done for us?
Nothing. That's why we turn to Richard Hawk.
The last great Space Noid hero.
Yes. So, but because of the character restrictions to the R Hawk, the last great Space Noid hero, everyone talks about Char. Char's a bitch. Richard Hawk is where it's at.
Hawk.
Richard Hawk was the hero.
I, Richard Hawk, shall dispense American justice without fail.
Thanks, Richard.
I love how my favorite part in the game is when you finally beat him, he pulls a "you didn't win."
Yeah. How else could Richard Hawk do it?
There is just something so good about villains pulling "you didn't wins."
I've said before that you didn't win is my favorite, attitude towards any villain can have.
Where they just go, fuck it and fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you have it.
You didn't win. As I said, I respect the hustle.
So, last week we were talking a little bit about, super robots and just robot shit in general, and, how, the Mazinger Zero was created because this wasn't a recording, I believe, how basically every other super robot got ridiculously overpowered, so they're like, we need to make the Mazinger ridiculously overpowered.
Sort of.
Yeah, basically.
That's my theory on why it happened, at least. No one's ever outright come out and said, oh yeah, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have this super robot arms race. Because once you got Gurren Lagann and Getter Emperor and Demon Bane and Mazinger Zero, everything was like, let's just dial it back down, boys.
To be fair though, Getter Robo was always on fucking crack.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, because then Getter Robo was like, yeah, but you have Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, we have Getter Emperor, which is the size of a galaxy, which is not the size of a galaxy, it's the size of the goddamn universe. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was just more and more overpowered. Meanwhile, you have Mazinger Z with its, I have rocket punches and a heat beam.
Sometimes my rocket punch has arm blades on it.
And also,
Yes.
too, with the Mazinger, I was thinking about it, is that the Mazinger was is the OG super robot. It's the original. But real robots got so ridiculous to the point where even they were more overpowered.
Yeah.
Say one-year war robots are pretty tame, and there's stuff that Mazinger could just backhand and destroy and laugh about it for 5 minutes. But once you hit once you hit Zeta, things start getting iffy. When the double Zeta shows up,
You have to bear in mind, though, the thing with the Gundams is they have relatively. I think of it as how much in the most basic concept, how much can the mech bench, right?
Right.
And a double Zeta can probably maybe carry its own body weight, its own weight. I'm pretty sure Mazinger Z can carry 3 times its body weight.
Yeah, but also the double Zeta has that fucking beam cannon that just blows up a colony. Cause fuck you.
Yeah, but no. But. As I said, no one's ever come out and said, oh yeah, there was this hidden arms race of super robots. But
it feels like it.
But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That's my theory. But that's just a game theory.
A game theory.
Was Koji Kabuto really Ness?
Is Koji Kabuto really Tetsuya? Is Koji Kabuto really Ryoma?
Did Koji Kabuto actually die in lava?
Can Koji actually swim on the ground?
I like to think he can. But yeah.
I feel sorry for Tetsuya, they rarely give him anything.
He gets a lot. I will say Great appears in probably more favourably in most Super Robot Wars than Koji does.
Well, I mean, he just gets great, and then Koji gets the Mazinger Zero, the Mazen Kaiser.
Well, that's why they invented a special unit. I'm pretty sure it was literally just for now, just so that every time Mazen Kaiser shows up, Tetsuya gets something now. I mean, fuck, at least Tetsuya gets to be in the game, unlike Grandizer.
Grandizer? Who?
Oh, poor Duke Freed.
Who? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
who?
He never gets to be in Super Robot Wars anymore. I think the last time he was in a main game that wasn't one of those phone games was Z1, which is 10 years old at this point.
So yeah.
Because after that they started using like Shin Mazinger and all the newer stuff where he doesn't have an equivalent, so he just stopped showing up.
Sucks. What can you do?
Yeah, at least this game V is basically, it's like, oh yeah, it's like we took Tetsuya from the few times he was implied to exist in Shin Mazinger, as well as what we're guessing the theoretical Great Mazinger and Shin can do. And then they just, gave him that other thing, but it was like...
Yeah, they give him the other thing that we won't name and we won't talk about because it's pretty cool. But
that was the first time Tetsuya had been seen since Z1, which was 10 years ago. Because after that they stopped using the Toei anime versions of Getter and Mazinger in favor of the newer stuff.
Shin Getter Armageddon will never stop being used.
Well, that's because it's the easiest, because A, it's the most recent, or, well, okay, not the most recent, but, like, it has the fancier robots, and otherwise you're kind of stuck with doing either New Getter Robo, which is kind of just, I mean,
they don't want to use the original because the VA is retired.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
But Armageddon's VA is still up around and kicking as well.
And still screaming.
Unlike our old pal, Koji, they've not super gone out their way just to create an actual full recast for Ryoma and company yet.
Koji, he's not retired, he just can't do the voice anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
As opposed to the other guy who was really big in the 70s and the 80s, but he can barely speak because just 30 years of yelling plus smoking equals a very raspy voice.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but also what can you do? It's the voices get old, unfortunately.
Well,
but yeah.
Unless you're Rob Paulson.
Or Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Which, I remember when they said, oh, you can't have Frank voice Megatron, he sounds too old. It's really, his Megatron voice does not sound at all that much different from...
Honestly, yeah.
30 years ago.
It sound the difference is so small, honestly, my brain just, even though I know he's older, just goes, oh yeah, different microphone technology nowadays.
No, it wasn't that he was too old. It was that they didn't think he sounded scary enough.
And Hugo Weaving did.
Because... Well...
No, he didn't. He didn't. Is the answer to that. They just wanted.
The answer to that is no. But no. Bay didn't want Welker because Bay listened to the G1 audio track where Megatron's kind of yeah. He's kind of like Skeletor-ish, and that he's not really all that scary. He's kind of silly, and the whole oh no, I've been thwarted. Retreat. I'll get you next time, Optimus.
So listen to the audio track from the movie where he's just die, Autobot.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Bay did listen to that. But yeah, it was in the new age of Transformers where they play them a little more seriously. He's yeah, the G1 cartoon voice didn't sound scary enough.
Yeah, I mean,
and then when they brought in Frank Welker in Prime, he's oh, you want me to sound scary? Okay. And then he did the G1 Megatron voice, but scary.
Because he's a fucking voice god.
Who would have thought?
Well,
oh no, it's the gun cannon.
You think Michael Bay knew who Frank Welker was before people why didn't you get Frank back?
Do you think Michael Bay knows what a Transformer is?
I mean, he does know what a Transformer is because Hasbro, literally sat him down and made him study the franchise with educators about the Transformers franchise.
Which kind of just makes what we got even more baffling.
I mean, it is baffling, but keep in mind in the original, the Transformers weren't going to talk. They were all going to be metallic gray. They weren't going to transform. They were just going to
Oh, they would have all been.
They were basically going to shapeshift T1000 style into their vehicle forms.
Oh, they would have all been Wait, you're just describing Transformers 4.
No, but I mean worse.
Oh. But I mean, you say they all look like metallic grey blobs. It's like, so what? It would have been such this huge change. It would have been all of them look like metallic grey blobs instead of all of them but two.
Yes, basically.
Right. Such a huge difference. And so
I mean, if you look, you can see like they have car parts on them. They have some color. I mean, I know it's still a pretty.
two of
It's
them
still a
have
pretty. It's still a pretty visual mess. But I mean, well, no, it's just that the only ones that like are actually on screen for more than a fraction of a second when things aren't exploding is Optimus Prime and Bumblebee.
I always liked the fact that when Revenge of the Fallen came out or was coming out, they used to put up the thing they used to tout was, oh, the visual effects were so demanding on this it melted ILM's computers, and it's like, it's not really telling me the movie's good. All it's telling me is that you fucking idiots shouldn't have designed these Transformers to look like hot garbage.
Just think, a simpler design would have looked better, and it would have been easier on the computer.
Oh, hey, look, they did make simpler designs for a different movie, for a better movie, and it looked actually so much better. Wow. Just makes you even more mad that we didn't get that. We could have had that movie out for the entirety of that fucking franchise, and we didn't. And we only got it when the franchise was literally dead.
Basically.
Thanked Michael Bay.
We only got it after Michael Bay was removed.
After he just
All it
became
took
the-
was for him to fucking leave.
Because of
Okay,
Transformers. To be fair, he wanted to leave after 3, but like they were like, he's like, so you're gonna end the franchise, and they're like, no, we're gonna keep milking these movies. If you don't want to do it, we'll get someone else. And he's like, oh, well then no, like he basically wanted them to stop. He wanted to quit, but he also wanted them to stop making Transformers movies. That was his thing, and they were basically like, no.
You know, I just realized how funny this is that I brought a Zaku 1 to Amuro's Awakening. Hey, it's okay. He doesn't know what he's doing yet. I have a chance at surviving.
Maybe.
I've seen a lot of Zaku 2s die, but not my Zaku 1. Clearly, it's the superior machine.
Must be the Zaku 1 from Turn A Gundam.
It must be because I lived. This is this Zaku later shows up in Turn A.
In Turn A, they find a bunch of old Zakus that like this one squad starts using, and like the captain and best pilot picks the Zaku 1 because it looked different. And like nobody realizes, well, yeah, it looks different because it's the weaker one.
Yeah, well.
Little did they know it was piloted by an ace who managed to survive against the Gundam with it.
If only you were Gim Gingham.
Who?
The main villain of Turn A?
The Turn A.
Oh, fuck! My brain farted.
The guy who...
Yeah.
The Dio voice guy?
I don't know why I always forget his fucking name.
The Dio, yeah, he's basically just pro Dio. That was practice for Dio. What does he do? He yells everything.
Because it's happened before we were talking about it, and for some reason I always forget his name.
But it's
my brain just keeps thinking his name is Gilgamesh for some reason.
No, that's the Final Fantasy V guy. He's not quite as entertaining as Gim Gingham is, because
I mean,
Gim Gingham's just a massive shit.
Very few things are as entertaining as him.
Man, I was thinking on 00.
There's gyms!
I was thinking on 00, right? I just realised, man, 00 stole... I like how there's an entire character and character storyline for the main character in 00 that they just flat out stole from Full Metal Panic.
You know, what I love about AA is the fact that I forgot how shitty the mech designs were until I got 2 of them in Super Robot Wars V. There's one of them, specifically one of them of the 2 that I got that I fucking hate the most. It's the purple one with the weird block on its fucking shoulders.
Right, that
I don't remember its name.
Raphael.
Yeah, it's that one where he is the worst one, to be fair, by far, and also he does the least.
Oh, stat-wise? Or are we talking about in the show?
I just meant all of the above, really.
Oh, okay.
No, in the movie with that one Gundam, he shows up at the middle of the movie and basically gets it blown up after one fight.
Good.
And then spends the rest of the movie as like sits in his personal computer.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say it makes sense in context, but it really doesn't.
Man, the little jog that the Zaku 2 does is pretty funny. It just sways its fucking hips.
Which one's the other? Have you got Is it Harate or what's Lock-On's called?
I haven't. I've only gotten 2 of the Double O characters.
Yeah, but what color is it?
The one is purple. The other, like purplish pink.
He has sets an interior because the other.
Oh right, so he's Quanta.
He has Double O Quanta, which is the main Gundam of the movie.
And as I said before, Quanta is actually pretty good to keep around just because it's like.
I'm probably not going to use it though, just because I don't like Double O.
But yeah, I do find it funny that
unless the game forces me to use it, I don't want to use it.
But yeah,
I mean, the game is going to force you to use it, so you might want to just be prepared for. If it's the main character, the game is going to force you to use it at some point.
So just throw money at it occasionally, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone who's
use it once in a while, so he gets some levels.
Because otherwise, you'll get to those missions where you get to, especially if you do like all the SR points and you try to do hard mode run, which I did on my first run through, and it's like, oh hey, you didn't upgrade this robot. Oh, it dies in one hit. Oh, it will die in one hit to like endgame enemies. And
cool, I gotta defend Char's Messiah.
Especially in stages where it's like, hey, this one character you probably ignored all game. Well, you have to spend 3 rounds with only them.
Yeah.
Hope you didn't ignore them.
Doesn't happen too often, but when it does happen, it's like, ooh.
We were under enemy attack during resupplying operation.
It's also worth mentioning that if you're gonna have you get EV units, yeah, you might want to use Shinji a bit and level him up.
I figured as much.
You're gonna have a couple of those missions where it's like, yeah, but you need Shinji to live.
Yeah, but Shinji has to fight the angels because, in story, only the Evangelions can kill the angels, even though in gameplay,
Even though, get a beam.
Even though in gameplay it doesn't matter, yeah, it's like.
Even though Getter Beam just goes ha 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 brr.
But yeah, the problem. But yeah, I distinctly remember Shinji having probably some of the most amount of solo moments of all of them. So.
I'm not surprised. I was gonna make sure I paid attention to Shinji anyway. I don't have like a disdain for Ava like I do Double O or Seed.
Well,
Ava's just not really my thing.
What makes it awkward with Double O is that when it's paired up with Full Metal Panic, especially if it's like Season 1 Double O, literally the Sosuke's plot is stolen.
Oh my god, Amuro just one-shot me. Fuck.
That's why he's
That's what you get for trying to fight him with the Zaku 1.
I did. My Zaku 2 needed repairs. They only gave me 1.
He is the hero of the Federation.
Yeah,
as I've been trying to say. Double O's entire Season 1 plot for Setsuna and another character who's kind of the best but also the worst is literally just the same plot as Sosuke and Gowron from Full Metal Panic. It's kind of jarring how much it's just blatantly stolen.
Oh good, they gave me the GOG.
You know what I mean, right, Sabo?
Oh yeah, I know.
That one dude is literally just Gowron, but not quite as...
He's
not
Gowron,
quite...
but he doesn't want to get in a sense in his pants. He just wants to kill him.
Yeah, he's not quite as homoerotic as Gowron is.
Yeah.
Where Gowron basically is like, yeah, Kashid.
It's like, yes, I want you to kill me and also love me. I want us to kill each other while also making out. It makes a lot of sense in my head.
He's just
crazy like that.
Hey Kashid, let's have some ice cream. We are best friends. No. You killed my friends.
And then the guy in Double O is just, No, but the guy in Double O is like, I'm a very bad man. I love war and murder and killing people. Ha 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 ha.
Mustache twirl.
Yeah, basically, he basically says it is like a reporter interviews him. And he's like, what? And he's like, well, I'm one of the worst people in the world. I love murder. I love war. I love killing. And then he kills her.
Yeah.
I love murder. I love
He tells
killing.
her this just so he has an excuse to kill her. It's like, oh yeah.
Listen here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have this deed to the orphanage.
You joke.
And you joke, but that's basically what he does.
And even more than that, so you know my favourite scene from that one CGI Resident Evil movie where it looks like Chris Redfield drone strikes someone's wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene basically happened in Double O Season 1.
Except, actually.
Yeah, someone actually does Gundam strike a person's wedding
Is it
But
him?
No,
It's,
it's
no,
it's two people he kills later
yeah,
because he's an asshole. But they were also assholes, so it kind of all balances out.
pretty much, yeah.
This seems like a very loving and fun cast, full of love.
I mean, a couple of them are, and then they die.
But Setsuna's right there! I was told he's filled with love.
One dies in season 1, and then in season 2 he gets replaced by his twin brother who looks exactly like him and has the exact same skill set. And also has the same voice.
And dies.
Yes.
No, he actually
No,
lives.
he lives.
But it's still very much the, we killed this guy, but JK now here's his twin brother who uses the same code name and also has the same skill set of being an amazingly good sniper. And
I mean,
also
it was theoretically set up, but I mean,
But come
still,
on.
it's kind of.
it's
I know.
real,
I mean,
like
yeah, still.
it's real, like,
It's really it's like yeah, I can't call it an ass pull because no, they did foreshadow him fairly well in season 1.
They
It's
have
just,
basically
but
they
come on.
have a scene where the character goes to the grave of his family because he's got dead family, and then like there's a person in the background who you don't see the full face of, but you see that they have similar hair and
Yeah.
body structure to him, and then in season 2 you get the reveal. Oh, by the way,
Oh,
it
they
was
all
his
have the
twin
same body
brother.
structure, though?
No,
No. Well, there's also he keeps having a flashback to what appears to be his family, including him. But
But
then,
it's
like right before he dies, is revealed that that's actually taken from first person.
yeah.
And then and that the guy you thought was him was just his brother.
To be fair, I will say 00 does like not have the Code Geass problem where every character is visually distinctive. Partially because 00 also has like a fair amount of variation of skin tone, so
Yes.
like Setsuna's not Asian, he's actually Middle Eastern. And it's noticeable when he's put up against Caucasian characters.
So it's a bit more noticeable than, say, Seed, where everyone is literally the same.
Yes.
The
it is
women
not-
are literally
everyone-
just the same body as the men, but with boobs.
Yes.
Wry face.
That's
It
not.
is very different.
They have the they have the fucking upside down avocado face that was like really in vogue at the time for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
The last thing they used that face was fucking Sailor Moon Crystal. because they had those faces
It's because
too.
of Clamp, isn't it? Like Clamp massively popularized that. With-
No.
Was it Clamp?
No, Clamp did Code Geass.
Oh,
They did.
The guy. Yeah, they didn't write Code Geass, but they designed the characters for
they
him.
did the character design. So
Oh,
they
okay.
did the one design and then hit Control V.
That's why everybody is ridiculously like pretty looking and also really like tall and thin.
And also has the same face.
Yeah, and also has the same face.
Yeah. We'll never let them get away with the fact they have same facism.
Or rather, everybody under 20 has the same face.
Yeah, okay, I'll grant you that.
Like the older character, like General Toto, I think. Like he looks somewhat distinctive, but you know,
He
that's
just
because
wants,
he's like 35 and not a teenager.
he just wants his pizza bagels.
I don't even remember who it was, but if I ever remember who it was, I'll never forgive someone for being like, "Oh yeah, you'll like Code Geass, you'll love Colin," and then like, "Wow, Colin's the literal fucking worst."
Hey, I know that was.
It wasn't
for me.
you.
No, I know who that was for me though.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
you
was
had
me.
someone do that?
It was
Oh.
Sabo.
Oh.
It's been a long point of contention in our.
It was back when I'd first met him, and I didn't quite
Yeah,
understand his tastes.
because I was like, man, I want to watch more. I want to see another mech show because I just got off like Gal Gaigar and my Gundam.
No. You watched Code Geass first, and you were
Oh,
like, Mecha
yeah.
sucks. I hate Mecha. It's like because it's like all of these shows are terrible. I want nothing to do with them. And then like you're like never speak to me of Mecha again. So I was like, oh, all right. And then like a couple months later, you're like, so I found this thing called Gal Gaigar, and oh my god, it's amazing. Why didn't you tell me Mecha was so good? And I was like, I mean, I tried. I guess I should have led with that.
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of shows you could have led with, man. But yeah.
Probably.
No, I get you. Code Geass was, and part of the problem was also Code Geass was like the biggest show at the time where everyone loved it, and
Right.
I just did. And as I said last week when we were talking about things like The Last of Us, it's like, I've even seen people do this with like Godzilla '98, where they're like, man, that movie's heart better than you think. It's not, but if you find genuine enjoyment out of these things, more power to you, man.
Is that what people are saying about The Last of Us 2 now? It's better than you think.
Sort of.
Well,
I've just heard like.
I mean, there's also the like Sony and Naughty Dog putting pressure on people. Like, don't make fun of our game. Our game is perfect.
I mean, I know
Troy Baker, tell them they are wrong.
Trying damage control, but I'm pretty sure.
Troy Baker, tell them they are wrong and they should never criticize
You know what I found
video
really
games.
fascinating though? So you know Patrick Bourvain of Angry as Pat / former Super Best Friends
Yes.
Super Best Friends fame. So we got a advanced copy of The Last of Us 2 because it's kind of, finally people cotton on to the power of free advertising off of streams. But when he was about to stream it, he basically got told or got like a simple message that handed to here are some words you cannot use to describe the game, and one of them was fun.
Yeah, that's what the guy said.
Also, he did a couple hour stream and then tapped out of the game.
Yeah,
and
he
never
tapped
played it again.
out, but I still find it. I mean, as I said, I'm not really trying to talk about the quality because I'm not.
No,
I've not
the
played
guy,
it, and
the
I'm not
director
gonna
of
play
the
it.
game, that freaking idiot who made the
Yeah,
game.
Druckmann.
Like,
I can't comment
like,
on Druckmann though.
Like he had this whole article. He's like, the game isn't fun. We don't make video games for fun. We're trying to tell a message here.
Maybe.
So that's why he couldn't call it fun. And other people were like, no, you. It's like the end of Mass Effect 3, where they're like, we could have put it in a final boss, but we thought it'd be too video gamey.
Here's the thing.
And I was like, it is a video game. It's not a movie. Stop making it a movie. If you want to
right?
make a movie, just make a movie.
Here's the thing, right? You can still have those kind of concepts of games that have like downer endings, or have these things, or not even have like traditional boss fights. What you do need to do is you still need to draw like these satisfactory stories to justify it, because it's like, yes, breaking conventions and doing these things is something that kind of should be encouraged, but at the same time, it shouldn't there has to be a middle ground between complete dog shit from a gameplay perspective and doing it for the art, because I mean, at the end of the day, games are this interactive medium, and there does need to be this level that taken into account, because games are not movies, and that's not a bad thing. Not even because it's like how movies aren't books.
Even if you were to put that into a movie, The Last of Us 2, it would not be a good movie. It would be
But that's the thing, is that games need to strive more for what they are good at doing, and not for what films do that makes films work. Because, like I said, they are comparable forms of media, but also not, because there's so many other things that go into the process and how things interact. Like, what constitutes like a great game from like a storytelling perspective? Fucking dog shit, but story doesn't matter if your gameplay, or story can be forgiven if your gameplay is top notch.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, just it's a whole lot of things that go into it.
I think probably one of the funnier things I heard was Druckmann was saying that, oh yeah, I was heavily inspired by Metal Gear Solid 2.
Was he though? But
that's what he claims.
Metal Gear Solid 2 gameplay.
Yeah. Also, even though it was fucking weird, it had a better story.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like,
and that's not even like an insult at 2. 2 I really like. 2 is really good.
2 is good. I just mean that I can't think of the best way to phrase it. I don't know what part you would have been inspired by, because Metal Gear Solid 2 is this incredibly optimistic, takes this incredibly cynical concept and then still ends on a very optimistic note. Because the whole point is, it's like Raiden's like, well, I don't know what's real and what's not, and Snake's like, well, maybe it doesn't matter what's real. What's real is what like basically amounts to what you make things are real by experiencing them and passing them on, and all that jazz, memes and shit. Whereas Last of Us 2 is just, from everything I've seen, once again, not played it,
it's
not
just
saying it's good or
basically a
bad.
16-year-old's equivalent of like cynical dark writing.
Yes. Which is odd, which I always found odd, considering it seems to be it's in a medium, or it's specifically in the genre, that all of this is not new to. Because I mean, like I said, like
Yeah, nothing
zombie-
about it is
like,
really new or innovative.
I mean,
But I do like how they constantly are trying to like, because there are fuck faces like what they're talking about hating the game, but like I like how they're focusing on like maybe like that one guy who posts that one who like with like 5 followers who's like, yeah, Abby's body looks like a guy, and they focus on that, and I'm like, dude, I don't care about her body type. It's fine. The fucking game is shit, and she's not a good character.
It's the exact same problem you had with Ghostbusters 2016, where you reach the point
And it's
of...
the directors who are trying to move it there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the problem of you have like these... You have like flaws, because everything's got flaws, and criticism could be leveled at everything, and that's fine. But then you have people who make these outrageous statements or claims, and then you...
Oh, by the way, they gave me a goof.
Ah, you done goofed. But like, they overblow it. They take these things that are like the vocal minority and overblow them. It's like, fucking Christ. I remember.
It's a tactic to do to get idiots that will just jump to their side and buy their thing thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a cheap tactic, and it works because people are stupid.
So you can sit there and go, man, we're being vilified by the cis-het white male patriarchy bullshit, and it's like, you're not. It's like, you know,
I think the most insulting thing about Ghostbusters was the fact that it had like when I watched it, it had potential. There were several times where there was a joke. They had a decent joke, and then they extended it and fucked it up.
I never watched it, so I can't say if it's good or bad.
It's painful. It's mediocre. I wouldn't really recommend it. It's not bad enough to recommend, and it's not good enough to recommend.
I have no... I don't even really have morbid curiosity for it, and as I said,
right.
I'm quite happy to be in the position I'm in.
Like I said, I don't even really hate... It's like I said, I don't hate it. It's not a bad movie. It's not a particularly good movie either. It's just mediocre, and I can't recommend a mediocre movie.
I'm quite happy to leave Ghostbusters 2016 in the same place I leave like Suicide Squad, in that yes, I might like make snarky jokes about what other people have told me about it, but I'll never like hand on heart say I think Suicide Squad is a bad movie, because I've never seen it, and I never will.
Right.
And if I get my way, I never will.
Right.
I can tell you what it's not, though. It's not a good character piece.
It's not a good character piece.
No.
I mean,
No.
it might be, but I'll never know.
No, it's not. I've seen the movie. It's not a good character piece. Anyone who says it's a good character piece is wrong.
I'll never know. It's been a while since I've spoken to Sam, actually.
Feel
How
alive.
he's doing? I assume so. Ah, well, I'll find out one day, I guess.
Whatever happened to
obituary.
Noelle?
Oh, she's sad. I still talk to her all the time.
Oh.
She's just hanging out in Kentucky still.
Good old Kentucky.
Yeah. Oh, which, you know, means that she's actually been working, because there's no no quarantine.
There is no war in bossing.
Oh, there's no quarantine in Kentucky because nobody travels out there, probably.
Rescue experimental mobile suit.
But
Allied forces are requesting a
I don't know. It's
prototype
like
MS undergoing test being
I
attacked.
don't know. I don't want to come off as like a film snob. I enjoy trash. I watched fucking Rampage for the second time yesterday. For fuck's sake.
Dude, I love that's why so when I said like it's mediocre, it's not good enough to like the reason I say that is because I love bad movies. Bad movies are just fun to watch.
See, Rampage.
Like Street Fighter.
Street Fighter is one of my favorite bad movies.
That's
it's
what I know. I was like, I love Street Fighter, and they're like, but it's so bad, and I was like, I know.
I know.
It's so bad. It somehow makes it good.
I mean, clearly there's people who have never watched Samurai Cop.
Samurai Cop is also good.
And it's an interesting look into the mind of Raul Julia, is that he knows that's going to be his last role, and he does his best, even though it's completely absurd.
Yeah, I mean, mad props to the guy for doing that.
Yeah. The movie is just a lot of fun to watch too. It's just so over the top and stupid. I enjoy it.
My problem is that Rampage scratches a very particular itch that I have at the moment for reasons. But
I haven't watched it. That's the one based on the game, right?
Yeah.
With The Rock.
I mean, I say based. It's like nothing
quote.
to do with that. I mean, it's okay. It's like there's nothing offensively wrong with it. It's just yeah. It's basically the hey, you want to watch discount Godzilla fight movie, and then you get that in like the last 10 minutes. which does
I just-
kind of
So I just noticed that the experimental unit that I'm protecting is a Dom. And I kind of find it funny that I decided to bring a goof to protect a Dom.
It'll stop the Dom from getting domed, is all I'm saying.
Dominated.
I mean, lore-wise, it's funny because the Dom was what replaced the goof.
You just step on me.
Even though I think the goof is cooler.
I mean, it might be. I mean, I'll say this: the goof got far more use than in like just media in general than the Dom ever did.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like the Dom basically exists for Black TriStar meme, and that's it.
You just step on me!
At least the goof got to have like probably the best fight scene ever in Gundam history.
Oh, the one from 08MS?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, 08MS is so good. I'm glad that it's gotten more popular, apparently.
One thing I always thought was like massively underrated is the bridge fight in 08MS team as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's. I'm glad it's gotten more popular now, where it wasn't like terribly popular back in the day.
Mm.
I'm not sure what made it suddenly surge in popularity, but I'm okay with
just
it.
being UC and being something else that they could pimp out for UC that hadn't already been done 1,000 times.
Basically, yeah.
Like, there's only so many times you can hype people up by saying, yeah, and Zeta's in, and Double Zeta's in, and since UC, they only release, like, actual new mobile suits for UC, like, every 20 years, whenever they have to break the glass on that, it's far better to they then have to go back and go, well, EC8 from that one, OVA, Alex, and... Fuck, what's the
It was a little bit
called?
longer than an OVA. It was like a good, like, season
No, it is
long.
still an OVA. It is an OVA.
Oh, even though it's long as shit.
Yeah, it's just...
They even had a movie!
OVA is just direct-to-video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So, OVA is anything that doesn't, wasn't intended to be released via broadcast, basically.
Oh,
Or
okay.
theatrical release.
Actually, funny enough, it did have a movie.
It did, but like,
It was,
everything's intended, but like the actual series is OVA because it's a video anime.
Right. No, I get you. I just think, funny enough, it had a movie.
Yeah. We have now what's called like V cinema, which is basically like their term they use for that is V cinema, which is movies that are straight to DVD. Weird, I know, but it's Japan for you. But yeah.
A lot of their direct-to-DVD stuff is a lot better than ours. Woof.
Well, that's because straight to DVD doesn't have the negative connotations it has over in Japan, because DVDs are quite, or DVD and Blu-ray sales are quite expensive, so there is an idea that you're purchasing a premium product, whereas over here, DVDs and Blu-rays are sold at bargain bin prices when they're not like new releases.
And not new releases are like series that are like particularly hard to get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're talking like stuff that is just off the shelf.
I mean, anime in general is still expensive. It's not as expensive as it was like back in the olden days, but it's still pretty expensive.
Yeah. Well, that's why. That's part. Yeah. I assume that's partially to cover costs of like dubbing, since.
Dubbing,
and
licensing,
also it's like,
a number of things.
And also, it's like it's always like sort of virtual unless it's like Dragon Ball or something.
Like Dragon Ball, they're going to constantly do re-releases of the
Well,
series.
it's not even
sets.
just that it's going to be re-released. Yeah, and it's also something that like people beyond the niche audience are going to pick up.
They're going to print out a fuck ton.
Like you'll get you could maybe get away with that with JoJo, but I'm not so sure. But like, yeah, Dragon Ball will be bought by people who aren't anime fans. Fucking like Food Wars or something won't be bought by people except the who are in
Weirdos.
that particular niche. No, I was gonna say weirdos, and then I felt a bit bad about saying that. So
I don't.
I was just gonna say it'll be bought by people in that particular niche. I don't know. I don't know. I like tried Food Wars. It wasn't my thing.
I have people recommend it to me all the time, and I'm like, no.
I mean,
Stop.
It seems like kind of not a whole lot happens in it ever, so
What the hell?
I don't know, maybe his house is
I got
full of-
distracted. I looked at my computer because of that noise. I got sniped by a Gundam.
House like this. Gas like going off in his house.
Does.
Maybe his house will catch fire next.
Now it's his. I mean, I had my router go out the one time. Your house caught on fire. Now he's got a gas leak.
To be
Every
fair,
one of
that-
us has had something now.
To be
recently.
fair, my house.
It's a water pipe. I had to go tighten it.
Oh, okay.
It was the sink.
To be fair, the like time when my house, where the smoke became like unbearable, isn't even the first like in recording fire issue I've had. Remember? Because I had that massive fire in the like not quite park but wasteland across from my across from my house.
I forgot about this.
I didn't. So
I mean, yeah, that's fair. You wouldn't forget.
the fire burns all around me, Dan. But yeah, I don't know. It's But as I said, I mean, if you like, I watched Rampage again yesterday mostly because I had it on Prime, or it was on Amazon Prime, so I was like, you could watch it for free, and it's like it scratches that very particular kaiju itch that you have that very few other movies. I do like me some kaiju. It's like how I decided, hey, I'll go and instead of watching the full 3 hours of Peter Jackson's incredibly self-indulgent King Kong movie, I'll just go watch that T-Rex fight scene, and then I was like, oh right, this fight scene is incredibly bloated and stupid. So it should be something easy, right? Just a big gorilla fights a big giant fights a T-Rex, and it's like, oh yeah, but it's like 6 minutes and it's 6 minutes long and it involves this fucking trapeze act in this cavern with vines. Like fucking a T-Rex pendulums itself and vines to try and kill Naomi Watts, and it's like, fucking hell, Peter Jackson. Why couldn't you just stop at some point? Why didn't at one point you just go, yeah, maybe this doesn't need to be like this? Just don't do that.
Hey, I broke a turret off of the white base.
Nice.
I guess you could
Jump
say
onto it.
I was gonna just say that while jumping onto it. Damn it, you ruined the timing.
Man, poor you. He'll live on in our hearts as a meme lord. I really like that base though.
You know, I know he's locked onto me, but it doesn't matter because I'm just stuck in this corner and they can't hit me, so I'm just slashing
might
at
be
white
locked
base.
onto you, but he's no lock-on Stratos.
He can't come at me full frontal.
I will say at least lock-on is a code name,
Yes.
and he's actually secretly Irish. And by secretly, I mean it's not really a secret at all. He just walks around like, yeah, I'm Irish.
Oh, charge it. Oh god, Tim just left to never betray a man in his life.
Yeah, fair.
While I'm busy just punching white base.
Maybe if he stayed and helped you, this wouldn't be a problem.
That would be nice. I like how this is going on and just exploding, and I'm just sitting here in my goof as like one of the members of the zombie family is dying, just hacking away at the white base.
He just sat there like, this is fine.
Pretty much, it's like, oh, this is fine. I'm just gonna keep hitting this thing with my goof.
I don't know, I guess sort of going back to Mazinger's and disappointing movies.
Hey, is that Rumble Realm? No, the goof is scarier. It's hitting things.
I find it funny how when they did this massive they tried to do this sort of big Go Nagai like cross-franchise revival things. They had like a new Devilman adaptation, which was pretty good. Then you had a new Cutie Honey, which was pretty bad. And then you had a Mazinger Z movie, which was...
Oh, there was a Cutie Honey one?
Yeah.
Wait, was that the one Anno did, or...?
No.
No, wait, no, Anno did the one,
Anno did Cutie Honey, which is
yeah, because that one was good.
That was good. No, I'm talking about Cutie Honey Universe, I think it's called.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard about that. I heard,
one.
like, I heard it happened, and then I heard nothing. All I heard was the theme song was shit.
Yeah, the theme song's bad.
How do you fuck up Cutie Honey's theme?
They used a different theme song.
Like Cutie Honey has such a good fucking theme.
They had a gimmick where every one of her main transformations had a different voice, but in practice, she almost never used them, so it didn't really matter.
So what was the point other than wasting money?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, as I said, the problem was it was this attempt to do this big Go Nagai revival thing, but rather than like do it well, they Crybaby did surprisingly well because Crybaby was like the first full proper adaptation of Devilman, the original manga. Like you had things that you had like ones before that were either like the Monster of the Week 70s one or like only sort of
which is fun, but you know it is definitely not the same.
It's not the horror
The
story.
actual thing.
And you had a couple of the OVAs that adapted the breakdown of human society parts, but not
Actually, now that I think about it, the actual Getter Robo never had an adaptation.
No, but that's because Getter Robo was in a similar situation to similar situation to Devilman, where it wasn't actually originally designed as a manga, and there wasn't a whole lot of and unlike with Devilman, there wasn't like a huge incentive for them to really go in for a manga adaptation, because
it would be cool if they did a manga adaptation version of it. They probably won't.
They've done a couple like alternate universe stuff, but nothing like
the closest you get is like the Neo Getter Robo, I think was what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Where it's kind of like a mix of the first two parts, because they use the Oni rather than the Dinosaur Empire.
Well, that's the other thing, is that Getter is that unlike say Mazinger, which has had like different versions, but they're retellings of the same stuff. Getter Robo's had like two widely different interpretations that are both equally popular. Because it's like Mazinger would have had like Skull's not like super popular.
Yeah, Skull doesn't really appear in much. I mean, Skull's alright.
Skull is alright, but Skull is also just like very clearly a different robot series that they slap Mazinger Kaiser onto.
Because Mazinger Kaiser is recognizable.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
the Skull of Mazinger Kaiser, like even the mech design, I think he's alright. The Mazinger Kaiser itself is just really fucking good. I just love that design.
So, I don't know. As I said, I think a lot of it comes from the fact that like Getter Robo was not the, because that's the thing. There's a point of contention as to who actually made Getter Robo, or who is the like progenitor of Getter Robo. Whereas Mazinger is like the brainchild of Go Nagai.
Isn't it Ken?
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the thing with Getter Robo is it's actually like a collection of people that went under a pseudonym. So there's not like as I said, there's not a singular person that is like the father of Getter Robo, if you will, like in the way that Go Nagai is that for Mazinger. I'm pretty sure it's something like that, because I think it's similar thing happened with like the Combatler V Voltes 5 thing, where there wasn't like a head guy behind it. It was just the collective team,
right?
Which probably stems from the fact that Go Nagai was a mangaka before he really dipped his toes into doing animation, or being he was a mangaka. He is the mangaka, and he was just getting used to having adaptations. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's sort of a bit of that as to why Getter Robo's not had like comprehensive stuff. And
Getter Robo gets fucking nuts in the manga. It gets fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
there's the what was it? I can't remember. It's the exact one, but it's basically another Shin Getter Robo, but it's more. It has slightly less power output, but it's more stable. But it's got a weird predator face. I'm trying to remember what the fuck it's called. I can see it in my head. That's the
I could look it up, but I'm too lazy.
The manga is basically, my point is the manga for Getter Robo gets crazy. That's just what I was trying to say, because it gets nuts.
Yeah. But I mean, at least Getter Robo gets like got to actually finish, unlike a lot of other series that just kind of got to end on cliffhangers. Gal Gaigar.
Right. Yeah. Getter Robo Armageddon. You can even just use as a finale to the series if you want. It works perfectly.
You can use it as a finale to the franchise, considering it literally has them all just like fly past a bunch of ghettos.
Yeah. Where, like you said, Gao Gaigar didn't really get an ending.
Well, it got an ending, and then they did another series that was intended to be a bridge gap between it and another series, and then it just didn't take off because at that point.
Is that Better Man?
Well, okay, no, Better Man was a spin-off, but they did Gal Gaga, and then they did a 7-episode OVA called Final, which was going to be like this, bridging from Gal Gaga into what was called Project Z at the time, and that would have been like the following on from what happened in Final, but before that happened, before they got around to doing that, I think like the Super Robot thing kind of went out of fashion, so it just ended with a big cliffhanger. Where it looks
Actually, I have noticed that super robots are kind of coming back into fashion lately.
Yeah, it's thanks. It's it is. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say it is thanks to Gundam. It's thanks to stuff like SSS Gridman and Pacific Rim. Funnily enough, because it's like, well, Pacific Rim wasn't like the huge blockbuster everyone kind of wanted it to be, and it ushered a new age of mecha. It was successful enough that people have taken note of it. Because I mean, I've kind of said before, like take Gridman for example, and Gridman's like always been discount Ultraman, right? But the thing with Gridman is that the concept and the character is owned by Super Riot Entertainment. Super Riot or Super Riot Productions does indeed work on Ultraman and stuff. But more importantly, AG Super Riot, the founder of Super Riot, or the Super Riot company, got a lot of famous off the back of things like the Godzilla movies.
Until we pick up the Komusai.
Fun fact: there's a giant octopus. There's a scene where a giant octopus attacks a village in King Kong vs. Godzilla, right? And it's not a puppet; it's an actual octopus attacking miniatures, and they do that by basically using special plates that could be heated to force the octopus to travel down a specific path.
Huh.
Yeah, pretty neat. But anyway, yeah. So, I think it's in part thanks to the success of things like, maybe even, cause, I mean, I kind of was thinking about it earlier, but things like Shin Godzilla, which was the biggest movie in Japan when the year it came out and won like a bunch of awards. And like, I think the success of things like that as well, because you know, Mecha had seen like a decline in favor of Isekai, and I'm not at all saying that Mecha is back and Isekai is going out, because of course that's not true, but
They're just both here.
Isekai
They're just both here.
It will never end.
Isekai
should end, but it won't.
I mean, I wouldn't mind so much, but every Isekai is the same story.
Why not just do the good Isekai series, Ray Earth? It also has mechs.
Well, that's because Ariaf's over and done with. And...
It's probably because they.
Oh
don't
no,
die
it is. I'm
in
just
Earth.
thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, the famous isekai is basically like random person on Earth dies, and is reincarnated in a fantasy world where they're a cool anime character and have a lot of women.
There's no truck-kun
Interested in
Aya.
It's not as cool when the person who gets transferred is the woman.
Well, also it's because they just go to another world, save it, and then leave.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like this poor ordinary salaryman sheds off their boring existence and gets to be a cute anime boy with lots of cute anime girls.
Like Rayaf, I think Rayaf has more in common with Digimon than it does Isekai stuff. Let's be fair.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Digimon is also technically an Isekai.
Technically, but you know, Digimon's also good.
It's true. Digimon was good.
But I don't know. I'm not gonna say I've tried Sword Art Online because I haven't. Because every time
Sword Art Online is garbage.
That's the thing.
That fucking ball just waddled up to me and tried to poke me with its hands, but it missed. So it just like flailed a little bit in the air, like.
See, that's the thing, right? And I've never understood. Like, Sword Art Online is that series that is apparently like mega popular, but I've never met anyone who actually likes it, ever.
They have to exist.
They have to, but I've never met them.
They're probably younger than us. Is the thing.
I've even seen people who've drawn shit.
Actually, no, there was one person I remember. Ages ago, I made a crack about it. This is like back in the early days of Sword Art Online, where I was just like, man, I don't really care for this new remake of Dot Hack. Like, I remember saying that and pissing them off.
I mean,
and I remember them trying to argue that somehow Dot Hack came out after Sword Art, even though I'm like, I'm pretty sure it outdates it by like a fucking decade.
Now the real question is, are you sure you didn't just make this person up?
No, I remember this happening in a stream.
Sounds fake to me, but...
It happened!
Because I refuse to believe there are people who like Sword Art. I think they're mythical. Next you're gonna
they exist, but they have the brains of
next
vegetables.
You're going to tell me you rode the unicorn and slayed the Jabberwocky.
I did none of those things.
Exactly, because they don't exist like Sword Art Online fans.
No, they exist. They're just... They're young.
You know what might be the thing with Sword Art? You know what? Maybe it's like Will Smith and his like family, where he just pours money in to like make them successful, like buying out all of his own daughter's CDs so she gets a platinum record or something. Maybe Sword Art Online is just like the creator constantly like buys millions of the volumes just to artificially inflate them, like how popular it is.
It's not impossible.
The only way I can sort of see how this series that everyone hates is somehow like inexplicably popular, despite everyone hating
And
it.
even has a spin-off series called like Galgun or something like that.
Like at least fucking Naruto at its deepest, darkest point still had people who liked it. Unironically.
You mean it's easier to find them?
Yeah,
I think it's just because we're older.
maybe.
Because a lot of the Naruto ones were like just a little bit younger than us, but you know, about old enough for us to interact with. Where I feel like the Sword Art ones, for the most part, are much, much younger.
You say this, but Sword Art Online is like 10 years old at this point.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on for a real long time.
I fucking didn't realize.
So it's like
Now
it's
I'm just
not-
confused.
It's let me see when it started, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been around for a while. Because
Hello?
I remember this-
I'm confused now.
Yeah, Sword Art Online started 2012.
What?
Damn.
So it's 8 years old. So yeah, no, it's not like there's like, you know, oh, it's just little kids that are into
That's
it
still
that we don't talk to.
that's
No.
still old and that's still like it's still like at that point where like we're not like we're like in college or like not in high school for a while at that point. At most.
I mean,
So it's still enough
but
of a gap.
Yeah, but it also means anyone who likes Sword Art Online as a kid is probably like in college or out of college at this point.
Yes.
So where are all these fans?
where are they?
They were there back in the day, but they might not be here now.
Don't think they were. Don't think they exist.
Now I'm fucking confused and concerned.
See, now you're beginning around to my line of thinking. You think they don't exist either.
I've seen one. I've seen one. I know of one.
God, you're like that guy, man. You're like that guy who insists. Yeah, I've seen the Loch Ness monster.
I've seen it. I feel this is a reference only people play Fallout New Vegas again. I feel like Nobark right now. It was a chupacabra. It was the meanest chupacabra I would see. I would have seen, except he was invisible.
Yes. Well,
I
enough of
understood
that.
that reference.
I recognized it. But yeah.
Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game that was never made by Bethesda.
I mean, to be fair, you could also. Depending how much of a snarky asshole you want to be, and I know how much you love being that.
Fallout 2 is the best Fallout game never made by Bethesda.
And you can also say Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds is the best.
Go on, just pick any game that's like Fallout S that's not made by Bethesda.
No, Bethesda's so good.
No one says that. You know, saying that in a
Hey.
shitty voice doesn't mean anything when no one agrees with you anymore.
Yes, do you know who
You know,
says that? Todd Howard. Todd Howard is literally the only one that says Bethesda is great. It just works.
You know, I
No,
love
it's
how
fun when
Fallout
people-
back in the day had a lot of commentary on how like capitalism unchecked can get really bad and experimentation. So anyway, Amazon is going to be sponsoring the next Fallout game.
Here's
Oh,
the
Jesus,
problem.
are they?
No,
Yeah. No, they are actually.
here's the problem, right? So you take things like RoboCop or Starship Troopers, and you watch it now, and you're like, oh no, we just lived that.
Yeah, here it goes. Westworld creators Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are teaming up with Bethesda Game Studios and Amazon Studios show based on Fallout.
But Westworld is trash, and everyone hates it. Westworld is that other popular thing that people apparently watch, but everyone dislikes.
It was that thing that everyone liked the first season of, then it fell off. I love like this recurring theme of that show that has that one season that people like and then people hate it.
I'll say this: I liked Westworld. I did like Westworld right up until the final episode, and I was like, "Oh no, this is gonna get dumb." And then I stopped, and then I was proven right when everyone was like telling me, "Oh, it got real dumb." How dumb did it get? Oh well, you don't even want to know. And I was like, "You're right. I don't want to know. Good day, sir." I just played Red Dead Redemption 2 and then never touch Red Dead Redemption 2 again, ever again.
That sounds like the smart move.
It's like, yeah, I got my fix of cowboys.
I need a cowboy game that I would actually fucking enjoy.
Good luck.
Because I don't like Red Dead.
Oh, good luck.
Because Red Dead controls like total ass.
Red Dead is basically all you're gonna get, man.
I know, and I fucking hate it.
Red
It
Dead
controls
is the
like
only one.
ass. It
Like,
controls like ass. I hate it.
not disagreeing, but it's literally...
Let's make a horse control worse than a goddamn tank. The robots in this fucking video game I'm playing right now control better than anything in that game. And they're robots, and they're made to be kind of clunky. And they're robots.
As I said, I do agree with you, but unfortunately, it is the unfortunate truth where cowboy games just ain't popular, and westerns in general. It's like how I want lots of games types that will just never exist. Do you know how much I would see? You remember that quote unquote hit game, Watch Dogs, the first one. So that had, and I never owned the game personally, but I played it at like my cousin's house once, I think. And I remember playing it, and there was this like dream sequence, like fake thing, where you could play as a spider tank going across Chicago and attacking things. And I'm like, why is this just not the game? Like, why have we got to have this half-assed lazy GTA clone where we could have a spider tank doing cool spider tank shit? Like,
Well, that's because the AAA only knows how. AAA for a while, the only thing they'd like to do is open world games. What's their thing now, other than microtransactions?
yeah,
That's
but
always
you
been their
could
thing.
still have it be open world. I'm just saying is that if you had the fucking big dumb spider tank doing stomping, rampaging shit, it's infinitely better than just fucking GTA again. Because you know,
Yeah, but that won't get awards in the Game Awards.
I'm pretty sure thingy did. Can't remember the name of the game now, and I literally just said it. Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs.
Christ. I literally forgot the name of the game halfway through talking about it. To tell you exactly how much that impression, like the one thing that left an impression, the spider tank, and that's intended to just be a silly, goofy mode. And I'm like, this should be your core gameplay mechanic, you idiots.
Fun's not allowed.
Fun isn't allowed. Like
Never describe our game as fun.
Man. Never use the adjective fun to talk about this game. It's like, come on.
I'm surprised no one's done like a quick little or like fan art or like photo shoot of the fucking no fun robot, but with fucking Druckmann. I'm surprised no one's done it.
Someone probably has.
Anyway, this is a good stopping point. We'll see you guys next time for more giant robots and making fun of Druckmann because David Cage is no longer Vogue. Have a good day.